Everybody knows how hard it is to reach the top of the industry if you're a woman. But as a black woman in a male-dominated industry, doing that is even harder. But what would happen after years of being the only black female superstar on the top? Would you let go of your place as the queen of your industry? Or would you do any and everything to make sure that nobody could ever surpass you? In today's video, I'm going to be talking about Nicki Minaj, stan culture, and the Nigerian TV show that really encapsulated how toxic fan culture can truly be. So if you are interested in that, keep on watching. Hi guys, welcome back to El Pastoral. If this is your first time ever coming up on this channel right here, typically I make videos relating to all of my favorite pieces of media, and sometimes I talk about social issues as well. As I said in the intro, today we're going to be talking about the Amazon Prime TV show known as She Must Be Obeyed, and how I feel like this show is so accurate in portraying how toxic fan culture is by using Nicki Minaj in order to analyze the show. I just wanted to take a quick break from the regularly scheduled content to just thank all of my current Patreons. Thank you guys so much for your support. It seriously means so much. Without y'all, I wouldn't be able to be so consistent in posting content. If any of y'all want to be like these beautiful, wonderful people, go to Ella Pastoral on patreon.com so you can have early access to my videos as well as participate in polls. Now let's get back to the regularly scheduled content. So if you haven't been on the internet like me, you probably have no idea the drama that has been happening between the artist known as Megan Thee Stallion and the artist known as Nicki Minaj. And as somebody who has listened to both of these ladies' music and can objectively be objective in this situation, I feel like this situation was a mess. Y'all see how Nicki Minaj is acting right now? It is a damn shame. And this whole situation reminded me of a popular Nigerian / Nollywood TV show that came out on Amazon Prime, and the similarities between the main character of the show, She, and Nicki Minaj are so one-to-one that I had to bring it to my channel and analyze it with y'all. So before I can really go and analyze how I feel like She, the character, and Nicki Minaj are so similar, I have to tell you guys what the synopsis of She Must Be Obeyed truly is. So according to Wikipedia, the TV show known as She Must Be Obeyed is about the lives of three successful music stars, She, Tito, and Excite. Chinua Bola Adewale, known as She, portrays a character determined to remain at the top, not minding who she tramples to get there. A group gathers and forms to expose She's true nature, leading to a tale of revenge and deception in the music industry. The film, this is definitely a TV show, spotlights the competition in the music industry. So the way I've broken down this video is talking about the similarities, the differences, and the dangers of stan culture, and what we should learn from the Nicki Minaj situation, as well as the character She and how she's portrayed in She Must Be Obeyed. I definitely recommend everybody who was watching this video to definitely watch this show, but I'm just going to be pointing out the similarities as I see them between She and Nicki Minaj. Like I said in the intro, both of these women are at the top of the music industry, and they've been at the top for a while. For Nicki Minaj, she has literally been the only prominent female rapper for literal decades. And before y'all come in the comments, yes, I know there were other female rappers and MCs before her, but for a great amount of time, it was literally only Nicki Minaj in her field. Don't argue with me, y'all. Argue with the music boards, right? And the same thing can be said about the character known as She. In the first episode of She Must Be Obeyed, we see a gigantically well-produced music show where she is the primary performer, and literally we are seeing how her fans love her. They're using all of these Nigerian phrases to practically be like, she's the baddest, she's the queen, all hail She, she's that girl, right? And she is at the top of the music industry. The camera pans over to two girls, Tito and Excite. Tito loves She like the rest of the population, but Excite sees her for who she really is, an evil, manipulative woman who uses her status as the top female performer to get what she wants. And she continuously to badmouth her in public because she has personally been bullied by She. I'm gonna let you guys make your own assumptions of who Excites can be represented in our own Nicki Minaj situation. But let's just say that when it comes to younger girls, Nicki Minaj has had a long history of beefing with younger female artists, and that was the first similarity, except for the fact that they're world famous stars that I noticed. The fact that they hate the younger people underneath them. Like I said, for Nicki Minaj, it can be a plethora of different people that I don't even want to list. But for the sake of She Must Be Obeyed, is Tito and Excite. And literally, the first little hints that we get that she is not who she is when one of the people who work for her literally tries to hype up Tito, like, oh my gosh, Tito is such a good singer. She tells him to be quiet. And after this little hint, we only get to really see the true face behind She. Okay, so now let's head back into another thing that I noticed between She and Nicki Minaj. The obsessive fan culture that holds both Nicki Minaj and She to a high pedestal, even though it is obvious that they are awful people as evidenced by what they do. In the TV show She Must Be Obeyed, it is obvious that She is not a girl's girl. Obviously, the way she treats her staff is way different than her public perception, but anybody who really looks at She can really realize that she is not who she says she is. For example, in the TV show, she refuses to ever partner with any of the popular female artists despite publicly saying how much she loves them. And if you are portraying yourself to be a girl's girl, why is it that you never go out of your way to partner with female artists? This can kind of be shown in how Nicki Minaj does things, where if Nicki Minaj wants to do a song with you, you have to have a long history of practically worshiping her, and even that isn't a guaranteed way of getting into her good graces. We saw how Latto was practically trying so hard to get into Nicki Minaj's graces, and we all know that Latto was a big fan of Nicki Minaj before all the beef that they had. The same thing can be said for She. Another thing that is super obvious with the toxic fan culture most definitely has to be with how Nicki Minaj's fans, the Barbs, are notorious for being awful people. And I hate to say this, but it's the truth. During the whole Megan and Nicki situation, Barbs were doxing people, on God. That's why I waited a couple of weeks for everybody to get some sense back into them after they realized that doxing is a crime and you can go to jail for that. But literally, all this stuff on the internet, you're doxing someone because they don't like Nicki Minaj? Seriously? It doesn't make sense. It's actually evil work. And even in the TV show She Must Be Obeyed, the fans don't even go to this extent. But isn't it funny how reality is stranger than fiction? But let's continue in comparing She to Nicki Minaj. I really feel like another thing the show does well is letting us see the ugly personalities of these beautiful women. Like She and Nicki Minaj are both beautiful, gorgeous women. It's their personalities that let us know that they're awful people. And when you just look at these beautiful women right here in front of your screen, in our society, we think beautiful people are good people. But getting to know Nicki Minaj based off her tweets, Twitter really set everything back for celebrities because it really let us see who they are as people. We really get to know that Nicki Minaj is not a girl's girl. I mean, y'all saw the ranting and raving that Nicki Minaj did when Megan released Hiss, talking about some lying on your dead mama, lying on your dead mama. And even my personal favorite, Serpent, thou art loose. She, the character, acts just like that. In fact, I watched She Must Be Obeyed before this whole Nicki Minaj situation, and I was like, goodness gracious, this reminds me of Nicki. And for Nicki to be acting the way she did during the whole situation, it was very concerning to me, and I hate to see that, because I'm telling you, I grew up with Nicki Minaj, and the fact that she has practically descended into this is just not, it's not the look. And I really feel like another aspect of the ugliness of the personality for She is that when she takes off the wig and she takes off the makeup, we get to see her for who she truly is, and she is hideous. I really feel like She Must Be Obeyed reflected the ugliness of She's personality in her looks, because as she is just so bitter and mean and abusive to the people who work underneath her, we really get to see who she really is. Now let's continue with the comparisons. Another thing that I really noticed between She and Nicki Minaj is how they slut shame and ruin the reputations of other women using our society's prudish tendencies towards sex. But they also are sexual beings. And let me explain. Onika Minaj, right, is her real name, Nicki Minaj's real name, but her stage name is Nicki Minaj. Minaj, like menage a trois, which means threesome. And Nicki Minaj has literally based her entire career off of literally being sexually promiscuous. And there's nothing wrong with that. But in this recent beef between Nicki and Megan, Nicki Minaj, instead of of like actually coming up with something good and juicy, has decided to slut shame the hell out of Megan. And we the people were just so confused, because I'm like, girl, why are you slut shaming Megan when your name is Nicki Minaj, like threesome? Like, she was saying that, oh, Megan sleeps with her producers. And I'm like, girl, with all of the rumors that have floated around about you, Drake, and Lil Wayne, and all of the men at Cash Money, there's seriously no way this is what you're saying. And it was extremely disappointing to see, but we can see the same nonsensical actions being reflected in literally She Must Be Obeyed. So in She Must Be Obeyed, there is the young star named Tito. Tito makes more like sing-songy music and doesn't really rap. She makes more melodic music, but she is so jealous of her that she uses her connections, right, to get a man to sleep with Tito, film it, take the recorded sex tape, which I have to remind you is a crime to do, and give it to She so she can post it on her gossip websites. And I just can't shake off the similarity between Nicki Minaj getting her whole fan base to slut shame Megan, even though we know Megan is sexually promiscuous, because she herself tells us, to She using her connections to get her fan base to slut shame Tito. I really feel like it's so similar into what they do, practically trying to turn a woman's own ability to have sex and use their sexual autonomy to ruin their reputation. I'm telling you, she might just be a Nicki Minaj clone, and I hate to see it. Okay, so now let's talk about the differences, because I feel like I at least have to explain what the differences are. So like I said, Nicki Minaj, she looks good without makeup, wigs, all of that. She's like a natural beauty. It's just that it's her personality that's a problem. The issue with She, on the other hand, is that she wasn't really born conventionally attractive. Her mother is a skin bleacher, and so the fact that she was born with dark skin is a major point of contention for her, because her mother would always shame her. On top of being dark skinned, she wasn't born with hair. She has really extreme alopecia, and even though in her childhood her aunts would do her best to try to make her look good, her mother was like, don't even bother because my daughter is ugly. And so all of that awful treatment from her mother led to she being an awful person that we know today. And I feel like that's a difference I have to mention before people like, you're trying to say Nicki Minaj is ugly. Beautiful face, ugly personality. And another thing that is extremely different about Nicki Minaj and She is that Nicki Minaj makes her own music, and we can't take that away from her. That's why during this whole Megan versus Nicki situation, a lot of us former fans were so disappointed, because Nicki Minaj used to hold onto her pen in terms of making raps, but due to, we don't know, people are allegedly saying that it's some type of drug usage or whatever. To be honest, we the people don't know what's going on, but Bigfoot was awful. And if you really like Nicki Minaj and you like her music, we objectively said Nicki no. She turned her 48 hours of ranting and raving in tweets, put it on a music beat, and it was so bad. We expected her to at least give her that diss. I forgot the diss she did against Remy, but we expected something high quality, and it was awful. But she does not make her own music. One of the major plot points throughout the entirety of She Must Be Obeyed is that she does not make her own music. She is exploiting the people underneath her that she doesn't pay to make music for her and to even sing for her. And I don't think I can say that Nicki Minaj does that. We have seen continually her fight against the newer girls because they don't write their music, but Nicki Minaj surely does. And like I said, it is not known to us if Nicki Minaj is abusing the people in her staff, but she, the character She Must Be Obeyed, for sure does. And that just goes to show us how even more despicable she is, okay? She would never come for her fans, but Nicki Minaj has. And that goes into the next section of my video, which is the dangers of stan culture. So one of the major plots of She Must Be Obeyed is that she has been running her own troll accounts. She runs her own fan accounts, and she runs her own trolling accounts. And one of the biggest shady troll accounts, I guess, in Nigeria is called Troll Kingdom, but she is in charge of Troll Kingdom. So when she set up that whole elaborate plot to practically slut shame Tito, she was the one in charge of the troll accounts. When she posted Tito's sex tape and exposed her for not being a virtuous girl that everyone thought that she was, all of her fans then proceeded to attack Tito, and this drastically affected Tito's mental health and her reputation. And I just see this as a one-to-one example of how Nicki Minaj uses and weaponizes her platform and her fans to do the same thing to the people in real life. Like, we all saw how Nicki Minaj used her barbs and her fan group to practically attack Megan, and it was actually evil work. I already talked about how Nicki Minaj was trying to slut shame Megan, like she is also not a sexually promiscuous woman, at least according to how she portrays herself in her music. But another evil thing that was done by the barbs in order to uplift Queen Nicki, right, is that they leaked the grave sites of Megan's mom's grave. And I just feel like that, on top of the doxing, is just some actually demonic work. Like, Nicki Minaj is talking about serpents that are loose, but the real serpents that are loose are the barbs. Because I just feel like nothing about this internet beef is ever that serious. I'm begging, in this economy, houses and rent, I remember in my area right now, per month, rent is $2,000. But somehow people have enough energy to be doxing people, and the barbs are notorious for doxing people. So much doxing when the bills are calling. Rent is calling, the lights bill is calling, but they were able to find time to dox people. It was actually madness. And I just feel like stans have gotten to a point, right, where it was all cute on Twitter, people arguing back and forth, but y'all trying to take this internet beef and take it into the real world. Is gonna get you guys arrested. It's gonna get you guys arrested. Doxing is a crime. Don't let them find out you were doxing someone, or else you're going to literally go to jail. Because the same way you can dox someone is the same way you can be doxed. You doxing someone is going to cause a lot of bad karma to go your way. And I just feel like the Nicki Minaj situation, as well as the She Must Be Obeyed situation, really goes to show us that we need to end idol worship. Like in the case of She Must Be Obeyed, the people don't really know that she is an awful person who's been doing all of these evil things behind the scenes. But for the Nicki Minaj situation, because of Twitter and because of TikTok, we are seeing Nicki Minaj for who she really is, and we need to stop engaging with her and supporting her antics with like and support, because it's obvious to anyone who knows anything about mental health that she is spiraling. When she was posting all of those tweets about Megan for 48 hours and refused to sleep, I was like, there's no way this is healthy. I'm begging you, please go sleep. Please go sleep. All that time without sleeping is so bad for you. It's so bad for you. And it's the stans that support it. It's the fans that engage with it. It's the fans that make the beefs. I'm so sorry. The fact that people doxed Megan's mom's grave is evil work. It's evil work. And it's like a toxic cycle, because Nicki Minaj is encouraging it, and then the fans are encouraging Nicki Minaj. And yeah, that's all I have to say in terms of my analysis, because I noticed the similarities way before the Megan and Nicki situation even happened. But it's like this situation happened and proved my point, which is a damn shame. But I just wanted to share with you guys about more Nollywood stuff. But yeah, that is all I have for my analysis. I really hope that you guys could really see where I'm coming from when I say that we really need to stop engaging in stan culture, because at this point stan culture has gotten so toxic that people are engaging in crimes for their favorite celebrities, and it's actually evil work. I really feel like we just need to go back to just listening to people's music and stop engaging in nonsense. And yeah, I really hope you guys got my points, and I really hope that you guys like this video where I practically use TV shows to analyze real life issues. I promised myself in 2024 that I would get y'all to watch non-American pieces of media, because I promise outside of America they be really doing their big one. And yeah, let me know what you guys thought of this video. If you guys really see where I'm coming from in terms of analyzing She Must Be Obeyed and Nicki Minaj. Let me know if you guys watch Nollywood movies as well and Nollywood TV shows. And yeah, I can't wait to talk to y'all in the comments. Bye.